Hello, welcome. Okay, I'm making a short video showing a card that I made for Mommy Guides Stash Timber prompt number 25, which is using an unused stamp, making a monochromatic card. There was some discussion on the difference between tone on tone and monochromatic, but I think we got it figured out. So I had already done a video and I left out a couple things, so I just decided to do it over. But so my color theme on this card is yellow, of course, as you can tell. And I have a yellow card base. And then what I did was I used the same yellow and I took this distress oxide fossilized amber and I blended that on there, so it made it a little bit different hue of the same on this paper. And then the image I'm using it's not a physical stamp, but it's a digital stamp that we got from Mindless Crafting. If you belong to their channel, all you need to do is subscribe and sign up for their digital stamps, and you get a free digital stamp whenever they put it. They put them out quite often. So this was the latest one. So I stamped out several on a sheet of cardstock, and I normally don't print on cardstock, but I wanted to do it on something other than white. This is kind of a beigey color. Has kind of a yellow undertone to it. I'm not exactly sure what the color is, but creamy white yellow. So I think it probably makes the colors a little bit different than if you were to color it on just pure white. But I had fun working on these because I don't color much and I just wanted to practice on that. So the colors that I used were from Adaxi. I don't know if you've heard of them. Most everybody these days uses Ohuhu or Olo or I don't know, Altenew or different ones, which I have none of those. I have 3 shades of the Olo that I got at Paper Ganza, but that's all I have of that one, which I love, and I will be getting more of those. But these are the numbers that I used from the Adaxis that you can get off of Amazon. And I got it's a large set with like, I don't know, 48 or so. And they were not that expensive. A couple years ago, those of us who watch Mindless Crafting, that's kind of what we were getting. So this is what I have. I also have Tombow markers. I used this marker, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So these are all different shades of yellow. And I did notice that this one says pastel green. But it sure looks yellow to me, the cap. So a lot of these are sort of deceiving, so you have to mark them on a piece of paper to see what the color is, but it looks yellow. Anyway, I experimented on starting with, the darker color and blending the lighter colors over that, and I really like how that turned out. This was the first one that I colored. And then I did the pumpkin pretty much the same way. I might have used a different, couple different colors in this one. And then on this flower, I started with the lighter color and blended in a couple little slightly darker colors on that. And I like the way that turned out too. And then the leaves, instead of doing green, because this is supposed to be monochromatic, I went ahead and did the yellow leaves with 2 or 3 different shades of yellow on there. And these kind of look a little orange to me, but there's also, you can see yellow, you can call it a yellow orange, right? So these are just punches that I punched out of a paper pad, fall paper pad that I have, and I can't remember the name of it. So I did 3 of those, and then there's a piece of fabric behind here that I thought was perfect. It was just laying in my stash here, so I used it. And then behind, and then on top of that, I put a strip of ribbon. And I'm using the Trinity. Oh, look at here. I had some yellow ones I could have used. Oh, well. I used the Trinity Stamp transparent sparkle enamel dots on here. I really like these. They have a little bit of sparkle. I also have these from Open Studio that are clear. I like those sparkles though. And I just now noticed that I have from Tailored Expressions these yellow enamel dots, which I could have put on there. I might go ahead and put some of those on here. But anyway, so yeah. And then for my my sentiment, this is not an unused stamp. I have used this before, but this is also a Mindless Crafting stamp. And what I was trying to do was, you know how you take a stamp and you stamp with a color, pretty much the same color as your background. You stamp that on, and then you put your Versamark watermark ink stamp on top of that, and then do heat embossing, and it comes out that same color, only clear. When I stamped the stamp on the first time, it had some black residue left on the stamp that hadn't totally been cleaned off, so it made it a little darker. But then I put the Versamark over the top and then heat embossed it with clear. So it still looks tone on tone to me. What do you think? There's a little dark under there, but so yeah, there's my card. And that is for, oh, this is the color I used on that stamp. I took my Tombow marker, which this kind of looks like a yellow ochre color, and I just took the brush end and went over the top of the stamp with it to where it was good and inked, and then that's when I put it down. So yeah, that was kind of an experiment with me too. I thought, well, this is going to be interesting since I have the card already made up. This could be really bad, but I think it turned out pretty good. So let me know what you think. That's my Stash Timber prompt number 25 monochromatic card with an unused stamp. Thanks for stopping and spending some time. Press that like button and please leave me a comment. I love watching your comments, and I've gone back clear back to my beginning. I keep going back to even the beginning videos to see if somebody made new comments, which I've found a few. So I've tried to answer all the comments that have been made, and all of you are very nice, and I appreciate it. All right, have a lovely rest of your day or morning or wherever it is you're watching from, and we will see you next time. Bye.